Hey, what's up everyone? Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always. And you know what? I think I'm gonna give you guys a nice little two-parter. Cause holy shit, with these articles, we've pretty much come full circle to where I was when I was starting my channel, honestly. I don't know why they just don't get it, but they're asking the same question that us guys have answered for them years ago. And the answer's still the same now as it was back then. So part one, we're gonna do the question of this question and answer pair. Where have all the good men gone? These sassy, sophisticated, solvent women say they are struggling to find other halves that can measure up. So basically, their standards are way higher than their sexual marketplace value will allow. Seems like a simple fix. 5 single women share why they've struggled to find men worth dating. Now I'm just gonna go out on a limb and use the, much used saying, I'm sure you know this by now. The common denominator in all of this is you. So maybe you're setting the standards a little bit too high, if you know what I mean. They ask if it is possible to find independent, attractive midlife daters. It is, but they're dating 20-year-olds. You know, the same shit you were probably doing when you were in your 20s? One dating coach says there are 7 women for every man aged 40 to 55. Now, it's kinda obvious they don't mean overall. By that age, the number of surviving women to men isn't 7 to 1. That's just people in the dating pool who are looking for their same age range. So the guys are there, obviously, but what are they doing? Well, we're gonna get to that in the video 2 days from now. For now, let's laugh at this one a little bit more. At 48, Jane Townsend is beautiful, independent, and single. She keeps fit, takes great care of her appearance, and is looking for a man who is active, in good shape, articulate, and emotionally open. Given her good looks and vivacious nature, eligible suitors must surely be beating a path to her door. Ha! No. You see, the thing is, the men who meet her standards have a high enough sexual marketplace value that they have access to a whole lot better choices than her. So why would they settle for less than they could get just to make you happy, huh? And you can tell this thought has never crossed her mind because this is how she continues. The men out there are delusional. Yeah, okay, we're gonna get back to that shortly. I don't want to laugh too much at this. I went out with a guy who lied about his age, saying he was 47 when he was 50. Oh man, it's such a crime when men do it, huh? Who then had the gall to tell me he wanted a younger woman so he, as he put it, could breed. Okay, this is just fucking hilarious right here. That guy knows what he wants and he's out to get it. Yet she claims he's the delusional one. Now again, think back to what I just said. If this guy was enough to meet your otherwise high standards, because apparently he was since you seem quite butthurt that you got rejected by him, he does in fact have access to women who are way better and younger than you, and he can most likely get them. But that delusional comment especially was hilarious because then she continues. After my divorce, I gave up my prime dating years to raise my 2 girls, expecting that when they left home, I'd have time left. And that right there answers who was the delusional one. But there's been a shift and now the men aren't there. Okay, newsflash, there's never been a shift. I'm not gonna mention the whole thing again because at this point this entire video will sound like a broken record. But you need to know your sexual marketplace value. Clearly you have vastly overvalued yourself. The market doesn't lie, so hashtag deal with it. Where I live, it's hard to find someone cultured unless they're eating yogurt, and the men my age all seem to be, well, more than a little overweight. Alright, so maybe you guys can figure out why she's still single. Her sexual marketplace value is practically non-existent, and she's picky on top of that. I'm willing to bet money that if she gave these more than a little overweight men a chance, she'd be able to find a man. And all the shit women give us men that all women are beautiful and we're gonna have to learn to change our own tastes, change what we find attractive to go after some land whales. Well, bitch, time for you to put your money where your mouth is and do the same. However, this article ain't all just moronic whining and dodging reality. One woman who contributed to this by the name of Jo Hemmings, who is a behavioral psychologist and a dating coach. Now, you may want to laugh at her titles, but she actually knows her shit. There aren't as many men because they have a wider pool. Men realize quite quickly that there are far fewer of them than there are women of a similar age. Then they date much younger women, creating a huge void in the market. Damn, this woman can see reality as it is. Shit, I love that. And it's especially funny that a lot of these older women whine when men date younger women. Cause I'd like to know how many of these women complaining about it themselves dated these older men when they were younger. So what they were doing to the older women back then, they're now having done to them by the younger women right now. If there is such a thing as karma, this is definitely it. Traditionally, women go for men who are their age or slightly older, so they are left wondering where all the men have gone. Again, nice observation of reality right there. And something you women need to see and come to terms with. If you're gonna go for someone your age or slightly older, you have a time limit. If you let that time limit run out, you're gonna have to greatly lower your standards and or settle for the fetishists. But damn, this woman does not let up when she tells her clients and others to just accept reality. It's tough when you're looking for love. You have to realize that it's not about you, it's just a numbers game. But now, unfortunately, we jump off the reasonable bandwagon, and the author of the article takes over again, and we're back to the just flat-out stupidity. And this is next-level stupidity right here. Hey, let me show you. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. Men, indoctrinated over generations to pursue younger women, are instinctively reluctant to consider those of a similar age to their own, even ones who look youthful and attractive. Man, I love how she's trying to claim that biology is indoctrination. And you see, here's the really funny thing. As we age, both men and women, what we're attracted to doesn't really change. It may change a little bit, but overall it's still the same. You go ahead and show an 80-year-old man a picture of a hot 20-year-old woman or an 80-year-old woman, and see which one he'd prefer. By that same token, show a millionaire woman a rich man and a poor man and see which one she goes for. But then she says this: men need to open their eyes to the amazing women in their own age bracket. Ooh man, can you believe the balls on this bitch? Here, let me give you a dose of reality. We're not the ones with the problem here, you are. We don't need to do shit. As you yourself have pretty much admitted, we don't really have a problem finding younger women. It's you that have a problem with us doing it. This is entirely your problem. We don't need to do shit. You either need to find a way to make yourself appealing to us, or shut the fuck up and deal with reality. That's all that needs to happen here. I'm sorry. And the sooner you come to terms with this, the better off you're gonna be. And we brought up karma earlier, so how is this for some karmic backlash? And thankfully, we're going back to the intelligent woman for this comment. This generation of men doesn't bother to make the effort to represent themselves in an attractive way, even online. Or they just list what they don't want in a woman and say nothing about themselves because they can. Boom, headshot, exactly, because they can. In the same way that young women do this exact same thing. Just list what they don't want in a man and say nothing about themselves because they can. Because while women are young, the numbers are in their favor. They get to call the shots. The men are fighting over them. But then these same women grow old and are not willing to accept that as they get older, the numbers reverse. Now the other side has all the cards. Now you are competing with other, most likely better women over them. And just like how guys, when they're younger and don't really have very many resources and nothing to their name, have to accept that the young women they're going after hold all the cards, and by that same token, these older women have to accept this same reality later. And now we actually get to a comment by another dating coach, who seems to be just as smart as the first one. And holy shit, I gotta say, if this article has done anything for me to change my mind on anything, I actually have a little bit more respect for dating coaches now. Because this new one, Susie Parkus, goes on to say this: it has a lot to do with his self-perception in terms of being able to choose who and what he wants in a partner because he has the right to, given that he is in high demand. Man, what is up with these dating coaches and being able to see reality as it really is? They're not trying to sell these women a fantasy or nothing. They're just straight up taking off the gloves and giving to them like it really is. Shit, I can definitely respect that. And now, for laughs, we go back to the delusional woman from the beginning. I go to gym classes made up mostly of women, whereas men my age just think they don't have to make the effort because there are always dozens of younger women who will go out with them. I just love the way she says that too. Oh, they think they don't have to make the effort just because they're already getting what they want. You literally just answered yourself in your own statement. They don't have to make the effort because there are always dozens of younger women who will go out with them. Why the hell would he put in the effort just to appease you who he doesn't even want? Holy shit, seriously, get your head out of your ass. And holy shit, we go for even more wisdom from these dating and relationship coaches. Cause this delusional woman was told by one of these coaches that women her age should go for men 15 years older, thus making her current dating goal a man aged 63. This is even less appealing as it is effectively a different generation and one with very different aspirations. I've cared for children and my parents and I don't want to care for a man again, says Jane, summing up the attitude of many in her situation. And with that attitude, is it any wonder why she can't find a man? Oh man, some of these women just flat out do not understand how to handle the situation when the balance of power completely flips as they get older. And you know what? At this point, I'm pretty curious to know the circumstances surrounding this woman's divorce. Cause I'm willing to bet she's the kind that divorced a man just because he didn't quote-unquote make her happy anymore. That's another hard pill that she needs to swallow. If that is in fact the case as I predict, then just not getting divorced would have avoided this entire situation for her. And now we move on to another delusional woman. Men of my age target younger women and I don't fancy the older men, so it's a real problem. I've stopped looking. Having to get back in the dating market, I focused on getting myself fit again, but many men don't seem to make the same effort. Man, didn't we just go over this a few pages ago? That freaking genius dating coach said it exactly as it is. They don't put in that effort because they know they don't have to. So this is a problem with you, not with them. The next woman they get to though, she's a little bit better. She at least is willing to admit the problem. The problem isn't the men not liking me, but me not fancying them. I want someone athletic, not pot-bellied. Most of the men I meet seem really unfit. Damn, and here I was thinking that whole dad bod was the in thing, right? You guys remember that too? So either way, kudos to this woman for actually recognizing what the problem is. My only advice to her would be, you better learn to be happy alone in that case. You've already taken the first step. Now all you have to do is take one more and realize it's possible to be happy by yourself, and you could probably enjoy the rest of your life. Now we get to the next woman. Men my age are all up for a pipe and slippers life, and I'm not, she says. When I got married, my husband was 6 years older than me, but I wouldn't take that age gap now because men aged 52 to 60 are boring. They just don't have any oomph in them. How dare they? How dare these men, after most likely working 30 plus years at a back-breaking job, wants to actually finally relax a little bit in their final years? The nerve of some of these men! Then finally, towards the end, the article comes to a pretty reasonable conclusion. Why don't these women do the same thing men do and just date younger themselves? There are a lot of cougar hunters out there after all, and if you're willing to be a sugar mama for one of these young men, you could definitely get them. But then the article goes back yet again to that first woman, the delusional and very whiny one, and again she's making excuses. Jane Townsend says she is often approached by men in their 20s, and this is the woman who was 48 by the way. The last date I went on, he was 23, and he was interesting and articulate and we had lots in common, but society says I shouldn't be dating men like him. I'm called a cougar, which makes me out to be predatory, yet it's perfectly acceptable for men to go out with Barbies half their age. Bitch, stop giving a fuck what the rest of society says then. Have you ever considered that? That's exactly what guys like me have done and we're way happier for it. But with that final statement from her, it's kinda obvious that she's just completely hopeless. And speaking of hopeless, the author of this article seems to have somewhat come to terms with reality at the end as well. Unless men change their attitudes to dating women of a similar age to them, and make more effort with their personal care, and most women accept this is unlikely, it is hard to see how the situation can change for these gorgeous women. Oh, how tragic. And this is where I leave off and tease the next video. Cause again, it's not like there's 7 times as many women than men alive once they hit their 40s and 50s. And I find it very hard to believe that 6 out of 7 men in that age range is just dating much younger women. A large chunk of them definitely are, but that still leaves a lot more men to account for. What are they doing? Well, another large chunk of them are just going their own way, and more power to you guys. But the rest? Well, we're going to get into that in 2 days. And that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for listening.